Hi Scorpio, and welcome to your general reading here for April 2021. This is for Scorpion energy, and that is Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, any kind of placement basically. Take what resonate from it, leave behind the rest, never ever force it to fit if it doesn't. And yeah, if you are cross-watching, place yourself in the role. What are we going to do here? We're going to use tarot to look into the energy here that may play out throughout the month. This is a monthly reading, right? And then we're using the archetypes here to look into the underlying energies. So this reading will go deep. Again, take what you will from it, leave behind the rest. And by the way, I'm having a little bit of an allergic reaction, so you can, if I get a little bit doozy, I took a oozy doozy, whatever. I took a pill because my upper lip was increasingly looking like a bad lip job. All right, it still does to a certain degree, but it's getting better. Starting to look less and less like a monkey. Alright, so Scorpio. Please be patient with me. More than usual, possibly. What do we have here? Scorpio. As I said, this reading go deep. There we have you. Let's pull out the tarot here. April for Scorpio. It's about forward movement here, and it's crossed by the 8 of Swords. Libra got the exact same position. I was just thinking about Libra for some reason. But yeah, this right. Allow me just to lay out the cards. Sometimes you can get into your head here. There is a clarity in the recent past, almost like an epiphany here, which then brings things into the light. But there is, to some degree, possibly a little bit of a analysis paralysis here. We're going to look into it, okay? It has to do with you adopting a new mindset, because it will also affect the path that you take forward here. Right? Because coming up for you here, there's some heaviness here. 10 of Wands, something will get a little bit heavy in your attitude. Yeah, you are looking at the resources that you have available to you. Your experiences, what you have, your assets here, it keeps showing up. So this is basically where you are at right now. It's about you making a decision here, what you're bringing with you and what you are releasing. In your environment here, we have the 10 of Pentacles. That's something very solid. It has to do with you wanting to take on some kind of a new adventure. Could be in your job. What you're hoping for is Queen of Cups. Could be a particular person. We're going to look into that. Most likely outcome, happily ever after. So, right. Underneath it, we do have here a choice that needs to be made in terms of what you're bringing with you and what you are releasing. We have 3 tens here. So it has to do with a little bit with a completion here. That's what's coming up for you in your environment here. I see this almost like a family expectation, but also something that has a lot of prosperity. This is like big business. It's big family. It is pension funds. It has to do with expectations and setting those long-term goals. Right. We're going to see how it plays out. What is waiting for you is an absolute happiness. So absolutely comes with your environment here. Of course it does. But there's also something heavy. And your strength in this situation will be the understanding of how to bring clarity, what you need to do. You can release what needs to be released. There is an ending coming here. And that is also what you're doing. You're looking into what needs to be released here. What will be the best decision to make. But right now, it shows up here that, especially in the beginning of the month here, you don't quite know. That path forward here, something here is in the shadow, unknown to you, and it also has a lot to do with your own shadow. What is the shadow? Google it. But it basically has a lot to do with the shadow or traits of ourselves that we kind of disown. So they remain in the shadow. Can also be memories we don't want to remember, or basically just our blind side also. So it can also be basically be our automatic thought patterns, our actions, whatever. But when it is a shadow, when it's in the shadow, right? It's in the shadow, it's in the opposition of the light. What do we have when we have light? We have clarity. When we have shadow, we have darkness. That's why we do shadow work. Shadow work is the art of bringing light to the dark spots, the blind spots. So you bring higher awareness, right? But right now, in terms of this shadow here, as it's in the center of the entire thing, it's also crossed by gnosis, which has to do with knowledge. So for some of you, please be mindful that there could be situations here this month where you are feeling prompted here to go on something new, to take charge, right? Especially in terms of your career. This is amazing if we're talking about your career, but it can also be it's just a general energy in your life here, facing challenges. Right now, I'm excluding it from love, but could be. There may be inner blockages, and then you get into an analysis paralysis here, where you stop yourself and you go, oh no, and then you become a prisoner of your own mind, and that would have to do with some of you possibly wanting to know more and more. It's almost like wanting to have all the answers before you do anything. Right? Be mindful of that. It's very human to do. Anywho, what we have here, we have a kiss and the sun, kissing under the sun. Ooh, oh my god, please bear with me today. I can sense that double doses of antihistamines kicking in. Yes, clarity and the sun. Who knows, maybe the sun will start shining in May. Nope, God, in April, fuck. Don't worry, I still have contact to the intuition, but I'm a little silly. I'm a little drugged, apparently. In the recent past, we have the flame, but it's come out a little bit twisted here with the Ace of Swords. So that's a little bit of a boredom here, but that is that flame you need here to bring a sword of truth into your shadow here to cut through. It's not really there. We're gonna do some clarification, of course, here, right? So because of that, there may not have always been full clarity. It's like you have the clarity, I guess, you have the incentive, you have the... Basically, actually what I get is that you have the knowledge in terms of where you want to go. It's like you are capable of putting it into words where it is that you want to go, but what you're struggling with is possibly the inspiration, right? It's the same as saying I want change. First and foremost, that's too broad. You need to narrow it down and make it more concrete and more achievable, right? Yeah, it would be the inspiration here to put into words what kind of change, or how are you going to pursue it, then do it. One thing is having the knowledge, another thing is having the inspiration. And that's also what we got here, is that what's crossing you is that you have the knowledge of something, but the inspiration may be lacking. And that will come through the kiss, physical touch. We're going to look into it, right? It could literally be a kiss, or just a touch with the divine. Whatever. You get to decide that. It can basically be as simple as giving a handshake or meeting someone very important to you this month. But what we have here is the warrior here. That is this. When it comes to taking on a new mindset here, if you don't quite have that passion here, you may have the vision. But what I'm getting here is also a little bit of an energy here of it's almost like you can become too mindful. You get to decide that in terms of you don't want to fight just for the fight. There's something about this Queen of Cups we're going to look into, right? But she comes with the underworld. What is that? Well, that's basically the place of nightmares. The underworld is where we have all our subconsciousness, our nightmares. But it's a very powerful place here. It is a place you gotta dive down there if you want to see the shadow. Which is a place full of worms and all sorts of shit, right? It resides there. Can be scary. because it's almost like walking into nature here. Walking into nature within yourself, and it's also about having that clear understanding that it is you walk into the darkness of yourself and not others. If you understand what I mean. It's about being able to put up boundaries and say, this is mine, this is not mine. In your attitude here, we have that cave, which is a place where you go to inside your own heart in order to get access to that bloody shadow. Do you see? There's a lot of shadow here. It's about listening to your body here. Scorpio, what I really get here is a lot of this month here will be spent doing something you may sometimes find a little bit boring, but it's going to kickstart you into something better here, right? It's almost like it's like you have this understanding that something you gotta do. You have all the knowledge. Maybe you just lack the inspiration, the passion, the motivation that is needed to put that knowledge into words or put it into action. Yeah, coming up here for you, we do have, it has to do with something here with your environment. I guess still there's someone here reaching out for help but wanting quick answers. I hope it's not you, because we will see what it is, but people who reach out to you in hope of quick solutions, or you doing it, will bring nothing but burdens here. I get that could be a challenge here this month for you, Scorpio, is that of always looking for the quick solution before you take action. Right. In your environment here, we have someone here who is feeling abandoned by their family. Are we going to look into it, alright? Because it could actually also be you, because it is... It is a little bit an energy here of being occupied with superficial values and wanting quick solutions to achieve it. Right. I am sensing here someone here reaching out for help to deal with their own abandonment issues. They can become a little bit draining here because they are reaching out for help again and again and again. And they're not really doing anything proactive themselves. That can become draining, Scorpio. And in this case, it will be your capacity here to... You're going to look into that kiss there, right? You're going to, the strength here will be your understanding of how you can sometimes drain your energy by giving too much of yourself. Especially into situations where people don't really work with you. Coming up for you, something here will have reached a dead end. There's a disconnect, but someone here may be trying to pursue it still. So that's what we get when we get underlying energy. So that's what I'm saying. On the surface, it looks amazing, but underneath it, yeah. Here we have the healer. When the healer shows up a little bit twisted, it has a lot to do with the way that you're making decisions here. Are you healing behind a mask to belong? No, right, I'm gonna piss someone off there. No. What does it mean to be a healer? A healer here is someone who can go inside, themselves and work on themselves, and therefore they can also, to a certain degree, help other people. But in order to be a healer, you also got to learn to set up limits around yourself, parameters here, so you also protect yourself. With the mask showing up a little bit like this, is something here that's being rejected. We're going to look in to see how it plays out with your shadow, but in this case, I see it being that you may sometimes honestly just be forgetting yourself, Scorpio. It's really that simple, what I'm getting here underneath it. You may be forgetting yourself because something here could be like a childhood friend or someone comes your way. And something here is not being completely honest. They're not being completely honest. Okay? Okay, we're gonna do some clarification here. It's almost as though you can give something here. Of course you can. Alright, let's see this. Alright, let's see that chariot with the shadow here at the center of it all. Ace of Cups. No, it's a Page of Cups. It's a Three of Swords, and it's a Nine of Cups. It's about getting a wish fulfillment, something here coming towards you very, very quickly. But at the same time here, yeah. There's something here that's a poor compatibility in that case. But what I am sensing here is your intuition trying to tell you something here, that there is a disappointment or pain coming in between you and what it is that you want. And that's where you get into your head. It has to do with this touch down here, which is the Knight of Swords, which is someone that is a little bit emotionally unavailable in terms of how they communicate. They would like attention, absolutely. And they come at you very, very quickly. That could be for passion, alright? That's superficial happiness. That may be a blockage to you, so look out for that. But there's also a strength here within you to also take charge and grab the opportunities that are available to you. You may be very attractive, you may attract a lot in here into your life, but be mindful of what it is and who you are attracting, because I see you possibly being drained here throughout the month because of that. And it's because it's a little bit immature and they put their needs first. And for some of you, it is because you're giving of your knowledge. You're giving what you know. You're giving your skills. And that is where we have this here in this month, that sometimes maybe take a step back. What I see you have doing here is that you take a step back into your little cave here, look at things differently, and remember to take some time off to yourself here. Show me that what you're hoping for here. Queen of Cups, Nine of Swords. You're hoping for some sleep. King of Wands. There is something here in your subconsciousness. Could be friends, could be basically anyone, but I am sensing here that you have devotion for someone, and you may also be hoping for someone to be devoted to you. But at the same time, I'm sensing you being, there are situations here where you could wake up a little bit worried, because from a nightmare basically. It's almost like your dreams here are going to wake up here, but there could be nightmares in regards to someone who's a fire sign or someone that you're dating. Basically, it could be a friend here, but it has a lot to do, especially if you take in too much from other people here, or you let it affect you. Of course, you're going to be affected here, right? But it could leave you into this little bit stressed energy, and that you might try and, I don't know, redirect your attention onto something else, and that you can drain yourself. Show me that Two of Swords up there. Clarified by the Justice. You want there to be balance, and you are very much focused on some kind of a new beginning here in your life. Could be with a particular person. King of Cups. But what it is very much about is about there being, it's just balance in your life, basically. You want to do the right thing. You want to invest properly, but right now I'm getting as though you have lost passion. You have a clear understanding. It's like you everything is evident to you. But I gotta tell you, it's as though you yourself are becoming slowly emotionally unavailable, because throughout the month here you will give more and more of yourself, and you will be so drained that, you know, it's just tired. I also get there will be disagreements, but let's see here. Yeah, that's in the environment here. Just quickly see. Yeah, no, you've been through that. Show me that environment there. Ten of Pentacles, clarified by the Two of Pentacles. There we have that choice. Four of Cups and the Nine of Wands. There is someone here in your environment here. I'm seeing a choice that will be made here for you in terms of how you liberate yourself, and you start doing things a little bit differently, and you start asking different questions. You start giving more to yourself, your heart opening up here, right? But there is a situation in your environment in which someone here is struggling a little bit with taking care of themselves. They're a little bit helpless, and they could be very much focused on making decisions that are about achieving some kind of a particular image. But they have a lot of prosperity, meaning they're focused on abundance. So when it comes to you, I see there being a challenge in terms of how things are balanced out, in terms of how both of you choose each other. And if love is not being chosen, if love is being pushed away, which it could happen, it leaves someone here alone. And then in this case it would be you, right? If you were not, your emotional needs here are not being prioritized this month, because someone is, they are claiming more than they are giving, you may actually fall into this stage of boredom. And you know what happens then? That is when you become more and more tired. Then I see it coming back together. Someone comes towards you quickly again and wants to try and mend it. But slowly but surely, I get as though someone here is asking for too much of you and not giving you enough in return. And that passion that is already dried out, it's actually gonna bring you more and more down here. And I do see it playing out throughout this month, but it's going to be in your mind here that you still want to give to this situation, but slowly but surely you're gonna lose passion here of moving forward, and you will actually find yourself some point in this throughout April at a point where you are questioning whether or not even to continue at all. Because I don't see them working with you. I see them wanting it, but I'm not seeing them working with you. Yeah, someone here, 7 of Swords and the Queen of Swords, and the Fool, clarifying the 10 of Wands. So someone here is being sneaky, they're being dishonest, they are no strings attached, right? And they are not seeing the situation clearly. They could be rationalizing from their own perspective here, and it could be a little superficial, but you can see things clearly. You can see things clearly, that sometimes people, or this person, whatever it is, may come towards you just to get a quick fix, and then you get done. It's get as though you are done with being the charity service of idiots, or for idiots. Show me most likely outcome. There we have that 10 of Cups, clarified by the 4 of Swords, the 5 of Cups, and the 7 of Wands in reverse. The dead end here tells me this is done. Yes, there may be happiness, but it's being taken for granted. And you know what happens when you things are being taken for granted? You experience a loss. Because I don't get that this will be your loss though, but meaning that I get that it will be their loss. Because they left you in boredom. They bored you. What happens when you find yourself in boredom? Love dies. It's not hate that kills love. It's boredom. Boredom is the complete meep. You can't relive it. It's dead. When there's hate, there are still emotions. There are no emotions in boredom. Now, I ain't clinical, but last I checked, depression is the absence of emotions. Shadow. Right? That's what's not being seen. God, we forgot to look into that shadow. You don't want to, this is what you don't want to see. Scorpio, I feel as though in this month here, you will be trying to push away that boredom, but it's going to get here. I also get it as being your person. It's because they are especially you're dealing with someone here in romance. Someone here is putting their own needs first. They don't see that about themselves. They are blind to that level of selfishness. The situation is going to die. I see it being from you. You're not going to be interested in healing this anymore. And some of you Scorpios, you're basically just gonna sneak away. You're gonna do what you gotta do, and at the end of the month, I see there being... I'm seeing someone here chasing. I'm not seeing being you, I'm seeing you having left. I'm seeing someone here chasing you. I'm actually also seeing a little bit of a choice that's got to be made here. Throughout this month, you may actually find yourself confronted with people in your environment, actually, that you thought you could count on. You probably, yeah, but it's like the disagreements, possibly later at the month here. There's going to be some kind of a disagreement where could be within your industry or whatever it is that you do. There's going to be a disagreement, and there is a matter of agreeing to disagree, right? Not smashing or bashing. But that may have to do with the fact that, Scorpio, get as though you might find yourself here in a situation where you yourself feel as though there's nothing more you can provide. It's almost like you're starting to speak up here and say, this is me, this is who I am. And then there will be a situation in which it's almost like a collaboration here. There will be a situation in which you will be tested here. You or someone you're dealing with will be tested on whether or not you can support each other, basically. Right? Even though you disagree, but can you still... how can you explain it? You know, you may disagree, but you can still treat each other with respect. What was that about? Yeah, it's almost like it's something here. See, you keep, every time it pops up with the Lover's energy, right? It is really about a significant choice to be made. It's almost like in a teamwork here, about moving forward. It's a disagreement. Okay, that's all I get. It's a disagreement, and yeah, it will require a little bit of diplomacy here in terms of making sure it doesn't escalate. So last message, and that's it. Last message here for Scorpio. New beginning, Ace of Rods, and the Strength and the Hanged Man. New beginning coming up here. New passion. That spark which was done, it's gonna get here. Without that being here, with the passion not being there, with the boredom being there, but only there being knowledge, but not being that passion that drives a situation forward, it can actually make someone here lose the motivation and the trust in it. Not so much, yeah, the trust. No, it's not so much trust. It's more the desire to show up, and I can leave something here put on hold. Someone here may actually find themselves throughout the month, be it you or someone you're dealing with, incapable of almost controlling themselves, and it can result in a situation where they lash outwards. And they're gonna start seeing fantasies. You're gonna bring the Tower. All right, I get as though this month here, it may come later the month. It's gonna happen quickly though. Oh, one of the situations where you're gonna be tired. It's going. There's a secret in it. There's something good in it, because it actually sparks. It sparks everything open. It's almost like it's the last drop, because you might have given too much of yourself to a situation here. It's just it's done. It can't continue like this. Someone is trying to push it, and you're saying no, and you're standing on your right here to disagree. Right? That's interesting. That's what I have for you, Scorpio. See you. Take care. Ciao.